Nah. Enough's enough, bruh. Enough is enough, bruh. What is going on? WNBA, y'all need to get this under control. This is ridiculous. Marina Mabrey, you just put yourself in the Dejanay Carrington box. You dirty slime ball player, you come and blindside Caitlin Clark. Marina Mabrey assaulted and tried to fight Caitlin Clark today. This is ridiculous. WNBA, Kathy Engelberg, do something. Do y'all want to go back to 55 to 60% of the people not watching shit again? I normally don't cuss in my blogs, but forget that. This was bullshit.
Caitlin Clark, please leave this league and let it crumble. Please, this league does not deserve you. All this hate from these black people, all this hate from these lesbians, these people in the media, just go play basketball somewhere else. Your fans will follow you. We will follow you wherever you go. But let this shit crumble and burn to the fucking ground, man. Let the viewership drop below 50%. Let them lose hundreds of millions of dollars again, man. Let them go back into fucking irrelevancy. Nobody giving a damn about none of these players. Just leave.
Tonight, you're about to witness Sophie Cunningham evolve from an all-star teammate into an unrelenting avenger. The WNBA became a battlefield, and Caitlin Clark's bodyguard made it crystal clear. Anyone daring to lay a hand on her would answer directly to Sophie.
All right, enough is enough. You know, at some point, the line gets crossed too often where something needs to be done and things need to be corrected. And that is certainly the case with the way things around Caitlin Clark are officiated. This is a constant problem now. You know, it is something that since the beginning, I've kind of backed off on, because physical play is a part of sports. You know, going after a superstar and trying to rough them up a little bit to get in their head is a part of sports. But when it crosses the line, the referees need to do their job.
This wasn't just basketball. It was a high-stakes demolition derby. The game's outcome seemed irrelevant as chaos overtook the arena. If you think professional sports can't get more intense, hit that like button and brace yourself. The crowd's energy wasn't electric for a win. It was charged with raw gladiatorial tension.
And let's start with the play that set off the entire night. So as you guys can see here, Jacy Sheldon is guarding Caitlin Clark. She swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin Clark nudges her off because Jacy stays in her face. And then Tina Charles runs over and is kind of wagging her finger in Caitlin Clark's face. And then Marina Mabrey comes out of nowhere and chucks her to the floor. Now let's watch this in slow motion. Here, Jacy Sheldon is guarding Caitlin, swipes her in the face. There's one. Going for the ball, swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin's gonna have to start wearing goggles. And then Caitlin pushes her off of her, like, why are you still in my face? Marina Mabrey, bat out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark.
With only 90 seconds left on the clock, rookie Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever moved cautiously along the sideline, oblivious to the danger closing in. Sheldon Lunge of the Connecticut Suns extended a sweeping hand toward Clark's face under the guise of defense. Clark recoiled, shouting, "Hands off me." Suddenly, Marina Mabrey barreled in, crashing into Clark in a textbook blitz. Teammates froze, the crowd gasped, but one woman's fury ignited: Sophie Cunningham.
Thinking to myself, is anybody on this team gonna stand up for Caitlin Clark? Jacy Sheldon grabbing Caitlin Clark all game, clawing at her. It's like tonight was a brawl, folks. Tonight was a brawl, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, is anybody on this team going to stand up for? And Sophie Cunningham. Sophie
didn't walk over. She seemed to teleport. This wasn't simple intervention, it was a tactical extraction. As Clark hit the floor, Cunningham positioned herself between her and the aggressor. Her gaze locked on Sheldon, who attempted to escalate. In a blur, Sophie intercepted, locking him in place with a growl that demanded, "Step back. Now."
About, let's start here. This is, of course, Sophie and Sheldon going down the floor. Sophie tries to wrap her up, and Sheldon gets to the floor, and all hell breaks loose. And Sophie said, "I'm not having it. I'm not having it. We'll go. We'll go." So there's that. That, of course, was All a byproduct of this right here, folks. And I mean, when I tell you social media is setting the WNBA on fire right now, not in a good way, that's the understatement.
The message was unmistakable. Harm Clark and you answer to me. No arguments, no referees, just unadulterated protection. Sophie wasn't here to play basketball. She was establishing a defensive perimeter. Think Secret Service with a jump shot or Dennis Rodman wielding righteous fury. The Suns had just awakened a sleeping Grizzly.
So much happened in this game, but first, let's talk about Sophie and Jacy. All right, Jacy Sheldon. My goodness, dog. My goodness. Now, honestly, I felt like Sophie might have wanted a piece of Jacy after the Caitlin Clark and Jacy kind of scuffle going on, right? Then this happened, okay?
The shocking chain of events unfolded for all to see. Sheldon's initial
The
swipe
cheap shot
wasn't
heard
accidental.
around the world.
It
Rewind
was
the tape.
calculated harassment. Clark,
Now
wearing
needing goggles like her
reminiscent of
college
days, nudged him away, only for Mabrey to launch a blindside tackle.
Not a flop,
It was
not
assault,
physical
not
ball,
gameplay.
an assault.
Yet the referees punished Clark, Mabrey, and Tina Charles with technical fouls. The arena erupted in outrage.
I feel good, and Sophie Cunningham put me out on a high note, folks. I didn't even say, Ben, calm down. Calm down, regroup. I didn't even say that. Let's get straight to the play, everybody. The plays everybody is talking about. First off, Marina Mabrey body checking Caitlin Clark to the ground. Jacy Sheldon all over her. Riding her. Pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. Oh, man. Caitlin Clark needs to start wearing goggles, folks. Caitlin Clark's going to need to start wearing goggles. Bumps up on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark says, "Get your hands off me." And then here comes Marina Mabrey. Boom! Exploding Caitlin Clark like a safety coming downhill in the NFL. There was no flop there.
Sophie's retaliation was methodical. Her fury wasn't impulsive, it was precise. All season, Clark endured relentless elbows and cynical fouls, while Sophie observed, cataloged, and waited. That night, loyalty became a weapon. Every nudge, every collision was met with calculated retribution. Her presence screamed a single truth. Disrespect Caitlin Clark, and you face consequences.
Okay, Kathy Engelberg. Hello, Earth to Kathy Engelberg. Are you gonna step in and do something about this trash that's going on? Players are getting assaulted on the floor. Like, come on, Caitlin Clark could have really got injured right there, y'all. She could have really got injured by these haters, these jealous, hating players. They just jealous and hating, bro. She didn't even get each.
Teammates exhaled in relief. Opponents felt genuine fear. Sophie didn't commit technical fouls. She imposed consequences. Back in the locker room, tension radiated from every corner. The Connecticut Suns players muttered about overreaction, but the message was clear. This was more than a game. This was a warning.
Welcome to WNBA Fight Night, or as some people are saying, WNBA Raw. What a game that was. We had it all. We had basketball, we had fighting, we had blonde on blonde crime. Oh, such an epic. Oh, goodness. But at the end of the day, it resulted in an Indiana Fever W. 88-71, taking care of business.
Online, hashtags like #Dubar surged. Fans dissected every clip of Mabrey's tackle and Sheldon's swipe, fueling debates over fairness and refereeing. The Suns' locker room, following an 88-71 defeat, resembled a crime scene more than a sports facility. Players moved rigidly, avoiding each other's eyes. Trainers focused with exaggerated intensity.
This is in the locker room. This is before the game ended. She comes out in the locker room and posts this. Like, what are we doing?
Coach Rashid Mission's words cut sharply through the chaos. Stupid. Disrespectful. His voice condemned not just the fouls but the night's entire unraveling. With the Fever leading by 17, he called the incidents a disgrace to the game, hands trembling with fury. Across the room, Sheldon iced her shoulder silently, bruises already forming. The unspoken question lingered. Was Sophie protecting Clark or waging war? Social media exploded by midnight. #WB trended globally, fans dissecting clips, memes portraying Cunningham as a superhero shielding Clark from attacks labeled jealousy and dirty tactics. Critics decried her as thuggish. Supporters heralded her as an avenger. Discussions ignited over race, favoritism, and league failures. The officials' inconsistent calls became a lightning rod. Flagrant fouls, technicals, and non-ejections conveyed a chilling message. Stars were targets unless Cunningham intervened. The league faced a financial time bomb. While viewership soared to 2.1 million, nearly 40% of new fans vowed to quit due to violence. Sponsors hesitated, deals paused, and ticket prices fluctuated wildly. Internally, teams fractured along loyalties. Veterans criticized. Rookies hailed Cunningham. Practices changed, drills intensified, and alliances formed. Commissioner Kathy Angelbert faced three paths: retroactive punishments, mandated workshops, or silence with ongoing chaos. The league teetered on a knife's edge.
Of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on Jacy Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And Jacy Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
The WNBA's leadership scrambled in unprecedented ways. The league considered orchestrating public apologies, mandatory sportsmanship seminars, and donating fines to charity, but every option carried risks. Any perception of weakness could ignite further chaos. Meanwhile, Clark's camp quietly leaked lucrative European offers, signaling that she had options far safer than the league's volatile environment. Nike, her $28 million partner, demanded immediate action, emphasizing they hadn't invested in a star only to watch her become a target. Globally, leagues were circling with predatory interest. Turkey's Fenerbahce dangled a $1.2 million 6-month deal with zero off-ball contact and private security. China's WCBA proposed $1.5 million plus a personal style and branding team to amplify her image across Asia. European media circulated mock-ups of Clark in a Lion jersey with the tagline, "Ball not brawls." Meanwhile, U.S. sports blogs debated the WNBA's survival. If she leaves, does this league become the next XFL? They asked. Behind closed doors, Clark and her staff meticulously tracked subtle consequences of the night's chaos. Flinching during film sessions, goggles worn in shoot-arounds, and the addition of a former Secret Service agent to her personal security team. Cunningham herself bore scars, physical, financial, and digital. Fines dented her $120,000 salary, and death threats forced her to disable Instagram comments. Yet when asked if she'd do it again, she didn't hesitate. On the next team flight, she slid into the seat beside Clark, coffee in hand. "You good?" she asked. Clark tapped her goggles, a silent affirmation. Ready for war. Below, protesters waved signs demanding protection for Clark. The WNBA's fate now rested on a single question. Would the league evolve into a space prioritizing skill, strategy, and safety, or a spectacle where the hottest ticket was not the game but the fights off the ball? This was more than sports drama. It was a cultural reckoning. From the moment Commissioner Kathy Angelbert called her name on draft night, Clark had carried a target on her back, unearned resentment, weaponized by those threatened by her record-breaking presence. Rookie hazing had transformed into full-blown hostility, escalating into a crisis threatening the league's integrity and financial stability. Refereeing inconsistencies only magnified the chaos. Non-basketball contact against Clark went largely unpunished, while minor retaliations triggered immediate technical fouls. Data tracking revealed fouls against her went uncalled 37% more often than for other stars in comparable situations. The league's structural failure created escalation traps. When Clark defended herself, the response was punitive. When she was attacked, the referees often did nothing. Enter Sophie Cunningham, a 6 feet 1 inch storm with both impulsive and calculated strategies. All season, she meticulously analyzed not just plays but provocations. When Mabrey tackled Clark, Sophie's mental calculus flipped into enforcement mode. Her toolkit was comprehensive. She inserted herself physically between aggressors and Clark within 0.5 seconds of contact, set retribution screens that felt like brick walls, and employed psychological intimidation tactics, staring down opponents, whispering, "Try it again." Every action was premeditated. This wasn't passion. It was a one-woman justice system born from institutional failure. The league now stood at a crossroads. Reform with strict protections and training, collapse if Clark was injured or left, or anarchy, as enforcers proliferated and games devolved into viral brawls. The tragedy extended beyond physical fouls. It was the systemic silence of coaches, executives, and legends who refused to protect a rising star. Cunningham's fury became a mirror to the WNBA's failures, illustrating that the system was only as strong as the protections it provided its players. Her transformation wasn't temporary, it was evolutionary, and its implications stretched across the league, altering the very fabric of professional women's basketball. The ripple effect of Cunningham's stance was immediate and monumental. Other teams followed suit. Las Vegas' Io Wilson hired Kelsey Plum as a shadow protector, New York's Breanna Stewart engaged an MMA coach for contact readiness, and rookies began inserting Cunningham clauses into contracts, mandating protective teammates. Basketball began morphing into a hybrid of sport and controlled blood sport. A week after Sophie's declaration, Chicago's Angel re-taunted Clark, only to be body-checked into the scorer's table by Indiana's Tammy Fagmanell. Social media erupted. Memes depicting Sophie's disciples multiplied, her influence spreading like wildfire. The WNBA's leadership convened emergency meetings with one critical objective: prevent total chaos. Debates included extreme measures, lifetime bans for intentional off-ball hits, dedicated referees for Clark's games akin to Michael Jordan's NBA protection, or strategic enforcer placements across teams. Resistance from veteran owners, "We can't cater to one player," ignored the core reality. This wasn't favoritism, it was survival. The Sophie effect fundamentally reshaped the league. Fouls against Clark decreased 40%. Fever jersey sales for Cunningham surged 200%, while her on-court scoring dipped 15% as she prioritized protection over offense. The season's climax approached with the league hanging by a thread. 3 potential paths emerged: reform, safeguarding Clark and preserving the league; revolt, with veterans protesting and Clark fleeing Europe, collapsing revenue by 70%; or ruin, as a serious injury sparked boycotts and sponsor pullouts, threatening the league's survival. In the eye of this hurricane sat Sophie Cunningham, unblinking, unwavering, a living message carved in stone: no one touches a golden child. The ball was now entirely in the WNBA's court. One misstep could unravel everything. The league faced a choice: protect its stars and evolve, or cling to tradition and risk collapse. Sophie's stance had transcended the court. It had become a cultural mandate, a warning, and a declaration.